morning, everybody. It's Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team, powered by Keller Williams, with my friend Racquel Peebles here, councilwoman, attorney, mother. How many hats do you wear?
I wear quite a few.
Yes, quite a few hats. We'll just call her Superwoman. How about that?
No.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. But really, really cool lady here in Smyrna. How long have you been on town council?
It's been 2 years now.
2 years. And how long have you been an attorney?
23.
So you've been serving people for...
My whole life.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And your practice is over at the Victory House.
That's
right.
Correct.
Over on Eden Springs.
Right, we're on Eden Springs Road.
And we'll get all the detail stuff out of the way early, okay? What kind of practice do you specialize in?
Okay, I actually have it's kind of an eclectic practice is what it looks like, but I do a lot of transactional work, so I work with businesses and doing corporate law. I also do wills, probate, and estate work, and then I do adoption work. And then with those areas, I do real estate as well. So, but those are the main areas that I try to stay in because I wear so many hats.
Corporate work, elaborate on that. I'm not sure.
So I work with corporations, and I work with small businesses. Some of them are corporations, some are LLCs, some are sole proprietorships, some are partnerships. And I work with them on shareholder agreements, organizing corporations, buyouts. If they're wanting to sell certain things, I work with them on contracts and things like that.
Okay. So if I wanted to set up an LLC,
I could do that.
I would talk to you, and
Yes.
then there's a lot that goes into managing that once it's set up, right?
Correct.
And that's where I would retain your
Yes.
services again. Jeff Peach said he told you he'd be watching.
Oh, he did tell me.
Good morning, Mr. Peach. How are you doing?
Hello, council.
So, okay, well that's cool. And in addition to that, you are on the council. What do you do? Are you? And forgive my ignorance here. Is there multiple committees? Is it just a general council? Like, how does that part of it work?
Well, there are 6 council persons along with the mayor, and each of us actually is assigned a committee or board that we work on. But as far as overseeing the business of the town, we all do that together.
I see. And so within that then, you said each person is assigned a committee. Which committee is it that you're...
I am on the Arts Commission.
Right on. So very involved right here where we're sitting, right?
Yes.
Right here in downtown.
Yes.
Very cool. I interviewed Ron and Susan last week, and we talked a lot about this area and what the town is doing and what Carpe is doing, and just lots of different people kind of moving this forward as a really, really hip, cool, just place to hang out, just place to be.
Yes.
So
they're very instrumental in all of the art that goes on, all of the different genres in town, as well as there is a Smyrna cooperative as well, and I believe Susan is involved with that as well. So they actually do a lot of work.
What is that? What is a cooperative?
It is a place where artists come together and collaborate. And so they meet once a month, and different types of art, photography, all different types of media. And so we have partnered on several things with the Smyrna Cooperative as well as with Carpe Artista.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of collaboration.
That's awesome. And you know, the town has the depot and what's the old building down here that you can rent out? Was it
the Assembly Hall?
The Assembly Hall.
Okay.
That's it. I couldn't come up with
Okay.
Sorry, it's completely escaped me. Dangers of live shooting there.
No worries, but we actually use those. We have had an art crawl. We do that once a year, and it's generally in June, and we use all 3 of the buildings. So we use Carpe Artista, the Depot, and the Assembly Hall, and have different artists feature their work.
That's
and then we have the citizens actually do the voting, so they go around and decide which art to actually give awards to.
No, that's awesome. Very, very cool. So I love that. You know, I grew up in Smyrna, and it's always neat to see fun, interesting stuff happening. You know, SOAC, for example. I mean, my goodness. You know, when that was first proposed, everybody, a lot of people were like, "Well, I work out there, and I can't believe you're going to put what in there?" You know, nobody could really grasp it, and it is so much more than what you could really envision when it was being proposed. I mean, what a phenomenal venue and resource. I mean, there's always something going on there.
Always. They constantly have an actual calendar of events throughout the entire month that you can go and register for and bring your kids to.
Yeah.
And then they have different events that adults, that they do, like they do painting at night and things like that. So you're right. There's always something.
Everything from kayaking to Harry Potter to, I mean, you name it. It's going on there. Yeah. So that's really awesome. Yeah. It makes me proud of this town. So, well, let's talk about your history a little bit. You got so many hats. How did you accumulate so many hats?
How did I accumulate all these hats? I just didn't say no to anything. I just feel like there's so many things that I want to be a part of and that I want to lend my gifts and talents to, that I try to be able to do that. So
yeah.
So I, like you said, I'm a practicing attorney. I'm on the council, and I also homeschool my kids. So that would be the third hat that I wear right now. So.
Yeah. And you travel him around one of your...
I'm having to travel him around lately. So he's in gymnastics, and the different meets don't seem to be anywhere close to home.
Ever.
And no one told me that before we got involved in this. So, but it's been fun, and he really enjoys it, and that's one of the things God gave him gifts in is gymnastics. So I want to support him as much as I can.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. My daughter just recently decided that's what she wanted to try, so we've got her in there, and I think she just likes to bounce. So whatever that means, right? Off the wall, off the floor, off of a trampoline, she just likes to bounce. Yeah. And so that's.
And we actually started it because my daughter. I was trying to keep my daughter active because we homeschooled, and so we didn't get a whole lot of activity.
Sure.
And so we started doing gymnastics because of her. But then he fell in love with it, and so he's the one that's carrying it on here.
And she's not even doing it still?
No, she's not doing it anymore. She's 15 now, and she's my creative, crafty child, and so she actually sews and does her own designs, and so
that's awesome.
So that's her passion now.
That's very cool. Yeah. And do you ever collaborate over here with her, with them? Because I know they're even doing some of that here.
No, with the sewing and the design. But she's participated in several things that Carpe has put on. She's been to several camps and art camps that they put on. So
very cool. Well, I was telling somebody that I was interviewing you, and I said, yeah, it's basically Superwoman. And she goes, well, how in the world does she do that? I said, I don't know, I'm going to find out today.
I actually did. A couple weeks ago, I had someone ask me, like, what are you doing today? And so by the time I finished telling them what I did today.
They were tired.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I said, I'm tired just listening to what you're doing today. I won't be complaining anymore.
That's funny.
But, we do the things that we have to do.
Sure.
And as a mom and as someone who's had people in my life who supported me to help me get to this point, I want to be able to do that for my children. I want them to see me serving my community. I want them to see me helping other people. And I also want them to know that, without a doubt, 100%, I have their back. So if that means that I have to run ragged some days, then that's just what it means.
Sleep 3 hours and
that's what it means.
Just to get it all done.
Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, you went to Emory.
I did.
Is that right? That's in Atlanta? Is that right? Okay.
Usually we say Atlanta, but it's actually in Decatur.
Oh, that's right. That's sort of like us saying we're in Nashville, but we're not. We're in Smyrna. So it's good to have your own identity, right? Very good.
So, yeah.
And did you grow up here?
I am from Smyrna. I'm from Smyrna, and I actually had done a speech this past weekend, and it was called Footprints of Our Ancestors, and that was one of the things I talked about is my history and my family's history here. And I had been doing some research, and I'm continuing to research on my family, but my family goes back here. My great-grandmother's grandmother purchased land here in 1907.
No way.
Yes, and my family still lives in that location, and it's actually located on More Peebles Lane. And so she bought 2 acres in 1907.
I know where that is. I've never made the connection with the name. It makes sense.
That's my grandmother's name. That's my grandmother who lived there from the time she was a little girl. Her family moved down to this location in 1926.
Wow.
So yeah, and so my great grandmother's 5 generations back bought it for $35.
No way. For 2 acres?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't even really park a car for $35.
No. So I was excited to find that out. But yeah, so we've been here a long time.
That's
a long
awesome.
time.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, Carolyn is your...
She's my aunt.
Okay. And I'm in Rotary with her.
Okay.
And so we've had a couple conversations about it. Don't worry, it's all good. And she and I, we can get in trouble together. Like, we pick at each other, and she's hilarious. So I actually got to know her a little bit before I got to know you, and then I got to know you through Brian and Tasha.
Right.
And then also, through the law office and everything. So, well, let's talk a little bit more about Smyrna.
Okay.
You, growing up here, you have a vested interest, obviously, in the community and the business of the community, right? What we talked about some of the good stuff. What is the biggest challenge that Smyrna has right now?
I'd say it's our growth. We've grown from 39,000, I think it was in 2017, to 51,000.
I had no idea it was that much.
Maybe my years are off, but we are quickly growing, and we're at like 51,000.
I had no idea. I would have said 43 because that was the last number I heard.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have a lot to, growth that we need to try to contain, and so I think we're making good strides in that. We are looking at our roads. We are looking at development, and we're also looking at even our water treatment plant and how to sustain and support all the growth that we're doing.
Now, it's about to, have they already started an expansion, or is it about to have an expansion?
About to happen.
Okay. And that's what people, I guess they lose sight of, is growth is good, right? We love Smyrna, so why shouldn't other people, right? And then they talk about infrastructure. There's a lot more to infrastructure than just roads.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the water treatment. You've got all the public services, right? From the gas company all the way to police and fire, and I mean all of that.
Yes.
So it's a lot involved when one more person moves here.
Right. And we have to make sure that we have the, like you say, fire and police.
Schools, which not necessarily count as Smyrna,
I
but
was like, don't say that, because now everybody's going to call me about school stuff. But
no.
We have no control over the
Right.
schools. But yes, we have to look at all of that. And Smyrna has new schools coming here, so we got to look at traffic to and from new schools. You're right. It's just it's a lot that goes into dealing with infrastructure and the growth and more citizens coming here.
So did the council foresee that explosion of growth? That much growth? I know they want it to grow and they do things to make it grow, but that's a lot. Is that something that was planned for, or is it kind of like,
Well, I don't know how to answer that question because I'm a newbie. I'm 2 years into my first term, and there are several council members that have been here longer. But from what I can see, I do believe that steps have been taken to try to deal with the growth. I think that there is a plan, or there was a plan, but things change on that plan, because then the growth changes where you thought it was going to be, it's now somewhere else, and so then you have to rearrange and try to plan for that. And I think at this point in time that we are, that is a major focus for all of us, is to try to deal with the growth situation on all those different levels without interrupting citizens' lives as much as possible.
Sure.
But with that growth, there's going to be some growing pains, and we are going to have some things that are going to happen that citizens aren't going to be very happy about. But it's to try to deal with the growth to make it better in the long run.
Right.
So.
Well, and I know, like, you go into some communities and you see that the community almost grew too fast, and the infrastructure, all the various forms of that they couldn't keep up, right? Like it happened so quickly that all of a sudden they're way behind. You know, sometimes I kind of feel like county schools, to some extent, are like that. You know, Rutherford County, almost like they got behind in building schools a long time ago, and now it's hard to catch up. Because you don't stop the growth to catch up. It just
it continues on when you want to.
And I just don't feel like Smyrna has experienced that. I feel like that there were things done along the way that we're still kind of keeping up with it. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. And so I like I said, I think there's been some planning. I think that the town and the council and the town managers have tried to look into the future to see what our growth needs will be and what they are, and try to plan for that.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's impossible.
Yeah. We have new schools now that are going up on Rocky Fork. We have Rocky Fork Middle, and now we have another one that will open up at the new school year, and so we're trying to get roads built to be able to take care of those things.
And they're not even a mile from Stewart's Creek schools. So, I mean, that's a lot of kids packed into a very small geographic area.
But we're trying to make it happen. We're trying to go ahead and deal with that, you know, as far as roads and trying to get those ready for that type of growth.
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, the growth continues to happen. Now it's a matter of us trying to plan ahead and get ahead of those things. And sometimes you can't get ahead, but you still need to keep moving forward to make sure those things are getting taken care of, so that you don't fall behind.
Well, it's a fine balance, right? So trying to get ahead is almost impossible monetarily, right? But keeping up, you know, I don't know. I think it requires a lot of vision. I know that you have that. I know that several other council members do. I know that Mayor Reed does. You know, as far as, okay, if we do this, then 5 years down the road, we'll be able to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And kind of, like you said, see the future, but also plan for what shape that future.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's almost more important than, well, I mean, obviously you got to react, but shaping that, whatever that's going to look like, is critical.
Yes. And I think all of us, all of the members of the council, are in agreement on doing that.
Yeah, very good. So, what's your? You said 2 years into your first term.
Yeah.
How long is the term?
4 years.
4 years. So, what's your platform going to be for? Can you reveal that for your next run?
I don't know what my platform is going to be for the next.
I mean, it's still 2 years away,
yeah.
so.
I will say there was and has been a learning curve. There is a lot to learn about what goes on, just not the surface things that take place in the town, and also learning about the different organizations and agencies that you have to work with to make the things happen that need to happen for your town.
You can't just snap your fingers and make something happen?
No, you cannot.
Well, come on, Racquel. I thought that's what you could do.
I learned that a long time ago from being
Right.
a lawyer. You can't just snap and things change. But just, there's a learning curve for that. So having to have learned those things, and I'm still learning, you know, there's new things to learn every day, but trying to just get a handle on those things so that you can feel good about the decisions that you're making. That's part of the process too. So.
Well, and being an attorney, being a council member, being a real estate agent, it's still all about relationships, isn't it?
Yes.
Because everywhere you turn, you're going to bump into this ego, and you know, and everybody has their own vision. Even if you're mostly on the same page, there's nuance to it.
Right.
And so learning that dynamic, I'm sure, is that's always challenging.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on.
No further comment. Fair enough. I love that. All right. Well, as far as attorneying, right?
Okay.
Practicing law. Where do you see that for you for the next 5 years? Are you gonna keep doing more of the same? Are you looking to grow that practice?
Probably not looking to grow it very much. If I grow it, it will still be in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
but I do the type of work that I do so that it will allow me to be able to homeschool my kids. And so that, to me, is my number one priority.
Sure.
Is making sure that my kids get a good education, a good foundation, that I'm building character in them, and that they are becoming, for me, men and women of God that will be good citizens. And so that's most important to me. So that's why I need to take care of that part first before looking at growing and building. Right
Sure.
now I need to keep it manageable so that I can still continue to wear the multiple hats.
So kind of what you're saying is your career facilitates you have your career to facilitate your lifestyle.
Yes.
As opposed to a lot of people, and myself included sometimes, I catch myself making my lifestyle facilitate my career, right? It's a different...
I think I have a different perspective a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, and people look at me funny, but, you can't always go down the same path everybody else does. And I've learned to just be comfortable with the way that I do things, because I know it's different.
Right, I would say it's not normal. Yeah, exactly. But what is normal, So that's awesome. So as I love what you said about raising your kids and that kind of thing. I know you're pretty involved in several organizations where you get to impact other children as well. All right, so this one's always fun. I don't ask this question very often, and I didn't prep you for this one. So, give me your best parenting advice.
My best parenting advice.
Because I'll tell you right now, I suck at parenting sometimes. Like I try, I love my kids fiercely, but man, sometimes I have these ideas and they're just not good. But I still do them,
I think we all suck at some point in time.
Yeah.
The main thing is to get back in it. I would say, this may not. I'll speak to what I do.
Sure.
And I am by no means an expert at any of this because.
Well, from the outside looking in,
No.
I would definitely say you're an expert.
No. Because also being a single parent, which
Right.
a lot of people may not know that, but I am, and so I make a lot of mistakes.
Sure.
I have, when we talk about my kids, I have an 11-year-old son, 15-year-old daughter, and so I don't always know what they need, but I would say that the most important thing that I do is I pray a lot. I pray all the time.
Ask for divine intervention.
I do, and I pray and I ask God to help me not to mess up my kids. Please stand in the gap where I'm failing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be very open and vulnerable about that. I just do. I pray a lot. But I also try to put people in their lives who can help where I may have a weakness, they may have a strength.
Sure.
And so I feel like I am a steward of these children. I don't own them. They're not my possession. And I'm not going to be the only one that can feed into them. And so I need to be willing to let my family, my friends, pour into my children the same as I do. Because in order to be able to do some of the things that I do, I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
I have to have others helping me.
But man, what you just said, it's brilliant, but it takes so much self-assuredness, right? Because we all want, I want to be everything to my kid, but I know that I'm not, you know what I mean? And for some people, that's a really tough pill to swallow, I can't do everything, I can't be everything, and it is important to put other people, and then you gotta trust those people, and that's huge. That's a big deal.
It is. It's a really big deal. Really big deal.
But the task is a big deal too, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah.
Man, I gotta go reevaluate everything. That's what I'm just sitting here thinking.
No need for that.
Well, you should always reevaluate, right? You should constantly say, is this the right thing? Is this
yes.
the right
Well,
thing?
reevaluation is good. Comparison, not so good.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's one thing I tell new agents a lot of times is, it's really easy, and I'm sure in law practice as well, to look at somebody else, right? To look at another attorney, to to look at another real estate agent and go, man, and make a list, and then forget to make your own list, right? Or not make your own list and go, but I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing, right? And that's where you are. So
and it's somewhat of a comfort level, but not. I'm content with what I'm doing.
Yes.
But I know that where I am and what I'm doing is promoting the greater good, and from my perspective, it's giving glory to God. Because I know some people, they may not feel the same, but that's my foundation. And so, as long as I can do the things that God is calling me to do, and know that it's not me, it's Him, I'll continue to do those things.
Sure.
And so that's where I come from as far as my perspective. It's trying to do all of these different things, but give Him the glory in it all. And so hopefully that someone who sees me doing something will say, well, if she can do that, I can do that.
Yeah.
Because He wants us all to shine. There's room for everybody to shine.
That's right.
And I think sometimes that gets lost with people because we feel like we got to climb over somebody else.
Right. And somehow your success diminishes my success,
right.
Which that makes no sense, does it?
Not at all.
No. And I love, you made a very important distinction, and I think that was a good point, is there is a difference in, I said comfortable, and that was not the right word. You said content, and that was a much better word. You know, you can be content but yet not comfortable, so you can be content and continue to grow. You can be content with where you are because it's where you are, right? It's where God put you at that moment, but still aspire for more. That doesn't mean you're not content. So I think that's a very good distinction. So thank you for correcting me on that. I needed that.
Well, then you're welcome.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, we're almost at we're probably around 20 minutes. My timer is not visible right now, but that's okay. What give us some juicy tidbit. What's coming to the town of Smyrna that we don't know about? Anything. Inside information. Come on.
Inside information.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if there's anything that's inside anymore.
Come on, there's got to be something.
What's going on in Smyrna? Well, you know about all the road projects. So
Some of them, Mayor Reed mentioned some.
Yes, I was going to say that's why when I was talking about there's going to be some discomfort to make things better for the long term.
So let's go through a couple of those. So Sam Ridley is going to become 3 lanes each direction.
Right.
Right, and is that just from interstate to Old Nashville?
Yes.
Okay. So basically through the shopping area. And then she talked about extending Enon Springs. Is that right?
Enon Springs West is going to go to where it's going to join into or merge into Rocky Fork.
Okay. So in that, will it kind of go behind the schools and hook around, or like in between the school and Rocky Fork?
In between the school, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure.
In a minute.
I got you. It's so hard to picture that because you forget that there's just empty land.
Well, it's actually we've gotten all the right of way, and some people will see that there are machines and things that are up here because the Enon Springs dead ends, and
right.
So they're getting ready to move poles back so that they can start working on the road.
So that's happening soon.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was like now.
That's why I said we're trying to get ready for the new school that's going to open in the fall.
Wow.
So yes, that's happening now. But the road, it comes, and actually I think it's going to come on this side of the school, on this side of Rocky Fork. So before you get to
Gotcha.
Sunlight.
That makes sense. And I guess then you would be able to turn off of that road to go into the schools. So it pulls traffic off of.
Well, it's going to become part of Rocky Fork, if that makes sense. Where the Rocky Fork is coming down, it's going to.
Oh, man.
Rocky Fork. Yeah.
I'm following you, but I'd like to see it on a map.
Yeah.
So I need to go look it up.
Well, please come by and look at our map.
I will do that. Speaking of which, council meetings. When public can attend.
Yes.
Right? When is that?
Tonight.
Tonight. If you
Tonight.
turn off the television,
It's
go
at
visit.
5 o'clock. It's the second Tuesday of every month is the council meeting. And then we have a workshop to prepare for the council meeting at the end of every month. So
Okay.
it's usually the last Thursday of the month
Okay.
for the workshop.
And public can attend those as well?
Mhm.
Okay. And if somebody had something to bring to the council, how would they do that? Or can they do that?
Yes, they would have to call ahead and get on the agenda with the town manager's office.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they'd have to call and get on, I think it's 24-hour notice, maybe 48-hour notice to get on the agenda.
Okay. All right. So tonight, second Tuesday of every month,
Yes.
5 o'clock at City Hall, Town
At
Hall.
Town Hall.
Town Hall. Don't use the word
Because we
city.
are
We're
the
not a
town of
city.
Smyrna.
City is Laverne and Murfreesboro, not Smyrna.
Not Smyrna.
All right. So in your 2 years, last question.
Okay.
What are you most proud of that you've done so far? Brag on yourself a little bit.
I don't know how to brag on it.
Oh, you should though. Doesn't even necessarily have to be town of Smyrna. Just what's the coolest thing you've done in the last 2 years?
Coolest thing I've done in the last 2 years? Oh my goodness. I don't know.
This is to put you on the spot question.
It is.
You do lots of cool things,
I've
so.
done that I would say was cool. I don't know. Actually being elected to the town council was the coolest, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I'm the first African American that's ever been elected to the town council.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
So that to me was and is cool.
Absolutely. Shatter a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
And not just racial, but also gender, right? So, I mean, not just the first African American, but an African American woman as well.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And the citizens of Smyrna elected me. And we are, the numbers are different there as far as the population. And so I'm very excited and honored to have been elected by the citizens of Smyrna.
So here's my mixed feelings about that.
Okay?
Okay, my mixed feelings are that's fantastic and it is good, but why did it take so long? You know, that's the mixed part of it. Like that was shocking to me that you're the first, because I just assumed that.
It had happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long?
Okay. Question I don't have an answer to.
Well, congratulations. That's
I'm glad
awesome.
it happened.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I'd say that's the coolest so far.
I would agree with that. That's very, very good. So you're gonna run again?
So I'm gonna run again.
Oh, that was a reluctant.
To be honest, I actually haven't decided what is going to happen in 2 years. I'm just.
Sorry, we got to pause there. You were saying you haven't decided for sure. You're just trying to learn and grow. I don't know when the phone started ringing, so.
Okay.
Trying to learn and grow and do what's best right now for you as a council member. And I said that's refreshing to me, because what that means is you're not in it for some kind of perceived power, right? Like you truly are trying to serve. You truly are trying to be the best at that job that you can be. And I'm assuming, I'm gonna stretch here, okay? I'm gonna reach. If you feel like you're not gonna be effective, you probably won't run. Is that accurate?
That's an accurate statement. That's accurate.
So
Because I really love this town.
yeah.
We've talked about my history. I've had so many people that have poured into my life in this community that I felt like I needed to give back. To whom much is given, much is required.
Sure.
And so, at this stage, I don't have an ulterior motive. I just want to see what's best for Smyrna.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of trying to do what is best for our town.
And that may mean not you.
And that may mean not me.
I love that. You got my vote. I don't live in Smyrna anymore, but I know. Sorry. But I would definitely campaign for you. How about that?
Oh, well. When we get there,
If
we'll
we get
see.
there,
We'll see.
right?
We'll see.
All right, let's see if anybody's asked any questions. Sometimes they do and they get hidden. Nope, nobody yet.
No questions?
If you have any questions that you'd like to share, you can post them on here, and I'll make sure Ms. Racquel gets them. And if not, is there a way that they can reach you? You have a council member Facebook page, right?
I do.
We tagged it on here.
I do have that.
So I'm sure somebody can ask questions through there if they need to.
Yes. Or you can call me.
Okay.
I still like I'm not a big social media person. If you call me, I'll answer. So
Wow, that's refreshing.
I told you I'm not the normal kind of
That is absolutely true.
businesswoman.
No
So,
doubt. That's awesome.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Racquel. I
Thank
appreciate
you for having me this morning. I really appreciate
Well,
that.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing for the town,
Thank you.
and just the many hats of Racquel Peebles. It's a cool story. So, good job.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure. This is Jonathan Harmon with Racquel Peebles, J Harmon Home Team. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. And otherwise, have a great rainy day. Try to stay dry out there.
Enjoy yourselves. Have a good day.
Bye.